Throughout cinema's history, we've been gifted many astonishing prison break pieces, from A Man Escaped to The Shawshank Redemption. However, in 1960, one movie came along and propelled the prison break genre forward, Letrou. Let's talk about it. When Letrou first came out in 1960, the film was not very well received and did poorly at the box office. The film even went through a trimming process, hoping to reach a wider audience, but to no avail. Letrou would take a while before it started to garner attention. Fast forward, it would later be called a masterpiece by critics and held around the globe by some as the greatest French film ever made. But as years went by, more prison break films were produced, and soon, Letrou was hidden behind other masterpieces like The Great Escape or Papillon and others. However, of those who had the pleasure of seeing Letrou, most were adamant it remains one of the best prison movies ever made. Today, we're traveling to France, more specifically a prison. So, prepare to spend the next few hours behind bars. Letrou follows 4 inmates who decided to break out of prison. But soon, a new prisoner is thrown into the mix. So, now the question is, will they be able to trust him with the breakout scheme? Although Letrou is packaged as a prison break film, I now see it as more than that upon rewatching it. Letrou translates to the hole in French. On the surface, Letrou can be seen as a physical hole they dig for their escape. But when you take a step back and look at the picture as a whole, it can be seen as a metaphor for feeling imprisoned in life. Letrou is directed by Jacques Becker, who sadly passed away weeks after the completion of the project, leaving us with an emotional swan song that altered cinema as we know. As the cinematic grand finale, you can see Jacques Becker translating his feeling of being trapped on screen as he lives his final moments. The film is based on a novel by José Giovanni, who was a convicted felon himself. Jacques Becker formulated the film according to José Giovanni's experience in prison. This allowed the film not to be confined by the usual tropes and cliches, where big muscle men roam the prison, evil guard lurks around every corner, or everyone just being assholes. I'm sure there are bound to be some, but not every prisoners or guards are carbon copied with the same tropes. The film is simple. Prisoners in prison wanting to finish their sentence and return to the ordinary life. Nobody wants to stay confined, so, in the right mindset, nobody will want to extend their prison stay. I hope so. So, we're ended up with an authentic prison film that depicts life in prison and how prisoners are trying to live out their lives before they're released. Throughout its 2-hour runtime, Letrou has no score, no music. All you're greeted with are the hum of electric lights, fans, creaks of doors, adding to the claustrophobia feeling of being in prison. You're stuck with the prisoners for the film's duration, placing you inside the life of prison as you hear every single sound clearly. The hums of prisoners, the steps of the guards approaching. Every sound is amplified, especially when they attempt their escape. The sound design was enough to place you in the prison environment, but what elevated this film to another level were the actors. I did a little research and was surprised to find that the actors were non-professionals during that time, and one of them had actually been to prison. However, everybody delivered powerful performance. Remember, this film is set inside 4 walls. The film could have easily bored one to death as you do not see the outside world. So, here the actors are the show. The film would have easily collapsed with mundane acting, but everyone carried stellar performance from beginning to end. As I rewatched the film, I realized the layer and depth the character carries. Incorporated with sharply written dialogues, it allows you to dive deeper into the character's psychological side. The stunning and sensational black and white adds layer to the characters and propels the film forward, reflecting their emotional state without having to portray them on screen vividly. Letrou is a marvelous swan song from Jacques Becker and will continue to remain one of the best prison escape films offered to date. However, it is more than that. It reflects not just life in prison, but being imprisoned in life. When you escape, can you fill that hole in your life, or is that hole still there? Letrou is a tension-filled film that guarantees to make you feel claustrophobic and make you question, are you feeling imprisoned? Because it sure made me feel that way. Letrou will forever remain a masterpiece and be one of my favorite prison break films. Have you seen Trou? Do you plan to see it? What is your favorite prison break film? Comment below and let me know. And as always, subscribe for your next travel ticket.